Every day, more than 1,800 women start businesses in the United States. Women own 42% of all U.S. companies. Many of those companies are or started as small businesses. Starting a business is difficult, and one of the major barriers, especially for women, can be access to money. U.S. Bank has a special relationship with the Small Business Administration that can help established or brand new businesses access the capital needed to start and grow. Joining us live in the studio from U.S. Bank to tell us more is Nina Johnson, Senior Vice President and Wisconsin Branch Banking Market Leader, and Gina Sorenson, Vice President and Small Business Administration Development Officer for U.S. Bank. Gina, for those of us who may not be as familiar with the Small Business Administration as you are, tell us what the Small Business Administration does.
Sure, thank you. The Small Business Administration offers a way for banks and lending institutions to offer loans to individuals that may not qualify for conventional loans. So specifically, we focus on business startups, mergers, acquisitions, and expansions that may not qualify for, say, a traditional piece of real estate. Maybe you need that money to start up or for some additional needs.
So it can really be for real estate, capital they may need to access inventory, hire staff, all of those things.
Exactly. We do a lot of working capital, marketing dollars, IT dollars, anything you would need to start or grow your business.
And again, this can be for a brand new business, not necessarily an established business.
That's correct. There's no time and business requirements for an SBA loan.
Women make up a significant number of small businesses, Nina. How can particularly working with U.S. Bank to receive an SBA loan, how can that really work to help women in particular? Because accessing capital can really be a bit more difficult for female entrepreneurs.
That's so true, Denise. You know, when we think about the women who, by the way, make up almost 50% of our workforce, noting that 42% is a large portion of that number, we have to realize that our banks are there to act as a segue and a community partner during the landscape of their launch and development of their business. So when we think about the programs that the SBA offers, the one thing that we also want to keep in mind is that they have training facilities available, they have individuals available that are able to prepare them for that part of the process, and their banker can assist and be a segue within that relationship. So it's not just the SBA partner. Fortunately, U.S. Bank has Gina in-house, but it's not just SBA, but it's the branch as well as some other programs that we have available through our CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions, working collaboratively with the SBS partners so that we can make sure the new owner of their business is successful in the end.
Gina, one of the things that we know about the SBA program and U.S. Bank is that U.S. Bank is considered a preferred lender. How does that help, and what difference does that make to an entrepreneur who may be coming in, small business owner who may be coming in, trying to work and access this loan through the SBA program?
Yeah, and there is a big difference between that and what it really means. The biggest benefit is that you get U.S. Bank for the life of the loan. So you get your dedicated team of professionals to work with you. We're able to underwrite and get loan approval with an SBA guarantee, yet we hold all of those loans for the life. So you also get not only the SBA professional helping you, but you also get a team of relationship managers, treasury management consultants, and other folks that are going to help you to continue to grow your business throughout the life.
Nina, I would think that would be something particularly important for someone who is just starting a business, because you've established these relationships at your branch or with your banker. You don't want to split part of the work you have to do with one group and part of the work that you have with another. Everything's in one place.
It really is so important. And, you know, the one good thing about our local representative is that Gina comes from the retail space. So she not only understands SBA, but she also understands what it needs to happen in the branch overall. So your team that's supportive of your growth and advancement are working collaboratively behind the scenes to just support the growth and development for your program. You know, the one thing too to consider is that when you're looking at starting your business, there's training, I mentioned that before, but then there's also grant dollars that your SBA representative can make you aware of that you may not have been aware of before you reached out to your bank partner to consider starting your business. So that wealth of information is full circle when you work with U.S. Bank in our branches and support the SBA program, within our organization.
As we take a look at current economic conditions, and everyone's very aware of interest rates, are people concerned about coming in for that loan now when the interest rates are what they are, or are there some advantages of working with U.S. Bank and the SBA at this particular point in time when it comes to those interest rates?
Yeah, I think at this point in time with the interest rate environment, what it is, people are lending more towards SBA. There's not as big of a gap between conventional rates and SBA rates right now, but it really is in a time where people need access to capital, and they may not qualify conventionally because of increased costs. So I think there really is an advantage, and for banks there's an advantage because we do get that government-backed guarantee on it. So it's not as risky for the banks. So I think it's in the best interest for not only the borrowers but the lenders as well to look at the option.
And really, at this point in time, the SBA may be the best option that people may have for access, for the interest rate, for qualifying for some special programs that the SBA has.
That's true. In fact, one thing that people are not aware of is that the SBA's rates, their programs it's called counter-cyclical, which means that they are offering product and rate when things are tightening up in the economy. So when you hear on the news that rates are tightening, the SBA is actually opening their doors wider. So from that perspective, it's such a wonderful way to just round out your banking experience, your financial experience, because you always have them available to support your journey along the way. When we think about the life cycle of a business, and we know that many businesses are thinking about capital right away, but workforce, supply chain, staffing, all those things, the support that SBA provides is really holistic, and it allows for the new business owner to have a kind of a ready reference for whenever they need to reach out to someone who is needing to pour into the growth and development of the organization that they're launching.
And as folks are thinking now that they've learned more about this opportunity of working with U.S. Bank and at the SBA, what are the things that people need to do before they walk through the door to talk to either one of you? How do folks need to be prepared to be as successful and to increase their chances of getting that loan?
Yeah, great question. And sometimes I like to say people should walk into the bank and meet with a banker beforehand because there are a lot of resources that Nina mentioned that we work with that can help get you ready. So, sometimes it's better to meet with somebody, find out what you need to do to get ready before you actually do that loan application. But there are a lot of online resources as well that can help with business planning and give you a little bit of background information so you know what questions to ask when you're meeting with that professional.
Well, Gina Sorenson, Nina Johnson from U.S. Bank, thank you both so much for being with us and opening our eyes a bit to what the SBA can offer and how working with U.S. Bank can make that a smoother process for everyone moving forward. If you have any questions and you'd like to get more information about SBA loans through U.S. Bank, you can go to the U.S. Bank website, usbank.com, and type in Small Business Administration into the search bar. Thanks again for being with us, and we'll be right back.